Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Tom. Tom is from London in the UK. So let's see what Tom has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello. How are you, Tom?
All good, living the dream, mate. I've got coffee, I've got water, I've got my banana.
Wow.
It's Sunday. It's a good Sunday.
Very good.
Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it. It sounds like a really interesting gig you've got with lots of people getting people.
It's been very interesting. Like I've been doing shoots with people like worldwide, and it's been really fun. Like it's so fun to connect with people and different backgrounds, different beliefs, different point of views. You know, in the end of the day, everyone leaves a positive message. That's what it's about. Tom, just before we start the game, tell me where are you from?
From London, central London.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a holistic personal coach, so I do online running coaching, wellness coaching, so working on people's mental health and wellness and visualization. And I also do one-to-one coaching in inner London, like in the Royal Parks, like personal coaching. So.
Right. And what do you like the most about your job?
Just seeing people perform, seeing people excel. When they necessarily didn't think they could do it before, and they've achieved great things. Just seeing people, it's almost like caterpillar butterfly, you know. Right. So they've learned to fly. They just need believability. Sometimes they say, "Hi, I'm a bit unsure. I'm a bit of a," you understand, introvert. They're a bit introvert. They're a bit shy. They're timid because there's a lot of people in this world that kind of are. Oh, look at her, she's running, or look at her, she's doing this, or look at him, he's doing this, and you try and empower them and make them feel better. And when they blossom, it's the best feeling. When you help someone and you support someone and you see them become something else in a good way, it's the best feeling. I think it's amazing. It's awesome.
That's great. Great. Okay, Tom. So welcome to William and the Magic Box. So. I've got my best friend here, full of random fun questions, okay? So I'm just gonna play some music now, just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first question. You ready?
Shoot.
Let's do it. Right, Tom, ready for the first question?
Is that the music? There's no more music? Come on.
We're getting there. There.
Come on, let's rock and roll.
Right, the first question is, what has been the lowest point of your life?
There's been a couple. Pretty much what led me to become a coach and helping people. Because I believe that sometimes when you support people and you help people, it's helpful to have been there and done that and experienced it. Then you're not coming back and telling people that I know how you feel when you don't. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's life is different. So someone went through the same thing I did. Their experience will be different. But there's been a number of points in my life where it's been quite challenging. I had encephalitis, which is a disease where you get inflammation of the brain. And I was 22 months old. So I almost died from that. And I couldn't walk. I had wobbly legs. I had to take steroids, which are absolutely horrible. They're not the ones that a lot of people take to build muscle. They really help the immune system and they help the body. But they have a real bad effect on your mind mentally. Wow. And then a few years after that, I didn't walk until I was about 5 years old, I think, 4 or 5, I think. And then when I was that age, again, like a couple of years after that, I had what's called undescended testes. So you have your testes, guys have 2 testicles, and they were too high, so they had to be lowered down.
I see.
An operation to lower them down. And then at school, I was badly bullied. I was in learning needs class, but I really excelled at sport. And then, unfortunately, there was one time when I was really badly abused. by someone that lived opposite the school, and that took me on a different path, which was not a good place, and I wanted to end my life when I was at school. I didn't want to be here, but there was something keeping me here, and it was sport. It was excellence like that, and being accepted in a community where I was good at. So I did hockey, I did national hockey, Middlesex hockey, county hockey. I got into triathlons. I did really well on the under-18s. I came out of school, excuse me, and I wasn't very good academically, but I was a really good people person. I was really good at communicating and making people feel good. I worked in charity shops, sports shops, and then when I was at in a nightclub, being assistant general manager in London, in Regent Street, I was diagnosed with stage 4 testicular cancer, and it was very, very aggressive. And about 6 or 7 months before that, I had really bad back pain, chest pain. It was really horrible, but I kept taking like tablets to kind of help me. But they were just, if you're sick, it's good to see someone and not being in denial about your situation, which is what I coach people in as well. And I basically got diagnosed with stage 4 testicle cancer. And then when I was diagnosed, they said, right, when people are diagnosed with testicular cancer, they obviously your sperm to produce babies comes from the testicles. So they give you an option to freeze it. So you have to do a test to check the fertility, and then they freeze it if you want to. But here's the part: it takes 3 days to do the test. And they said, you can do the test, but we don't think you're going to make it if you do the test. And I said, well, what are you saying? Are you saying, well, you've got 3 days to live. If you do the test, you'll die. And the chances you have survival is really slim. So we need to start chemotherapy right now.
Wow.
So that was pretty low. But I wasn't in denial about it. I look at life, and I always have done, that if it's something that's self-inflicted, like you do a test, you do an exam and you haven't performed well because you haven't revised, that's pretty much on you. Yeah. If you drink and you drive and you have a crash, that's on you, right? But if it's an illness which you haven't done anything about, you haven't done wrong about, then you can't look up in the sky and go, oh my God, why me? Why me? They're testing me. Okay, let's get on. Let's build it better. So I went through a whole treatment of chemotherapy. But the funny point was, what broke it for me in a good way, was I went through a brain scan to scan my brain, because if they said it was in my brain, it would be like game over.
I see.
But I had about 1 million cancer cells in me at one point, just over 1 million, which is really advanced. And then, but basically, they did a brain scan and they came back. And I was in my hospital bed after the scan, and my dad basically came back and went, Tom, got some really, really bad news. And I went, well, what's wrong? Because I was really worried about this. I wasn't worried about the whole cancer thing, because I accepted it. I wasn't in denial, but he just said, they found it. They found what they were looking for in your head. And I went, what did they find? And they went, they found something that we didn't think you had for years, a brain. They found your brain, Tom. And it was just, he lifted the whole thing in a good way. They were always joking and being sarcastic. They say, they found your brain in your head. We didn't think you had a brain. And I just laughed, and it was really relief. But then there was one point in it where I had stem cell transplant. So if you go to my website and look at the story on it, there's a picture of me in a bed, like, I look very weak. But I had what's called stem cell transplant, and they take these stem cells out of your body and then they put a huge whack of chemotherapy in you. Because if they put the chemotherapy in you when you're got the stem cells in, you won't survive because it's so strong. So they put them back in afterwards, and then the smell and then all the side effects happened. And then they said, do you want to know the side effects? And I went, not really, because I don't want to worry about something that's not going to happen, right? And so I just went, okay, this would be like your magic box, a question you don't know is going to come up. So you just think, okay, and it was ulcers. You know when you get an ulcer in your mouth?
Yeah.
Imagine everywhere, like everywhere. You're like inside your cheeks, both sides, on the top, on the tongue. and I was talking like this for about 4 weeks. I was talking like, I was really, you know ventriloquism. You know ventriloquists when they
No.
talk.
Oh yeah. Yes, I know.
I was
Yeah.
really good at that. I was really good. I literally talking I did. I couldn't talk for ages, and I couldn't brush my teeth for about 3 weeks. I couldn't eat for about 3 weeks. I couldn't do anything with my mouth. I had to use a pen and paper. I had to write everything down. And I just got really, one day where I just banged on the bed and just went, I hated it. And that was probably one of my lowest points.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 27 when I was diagnosed with testicle cancer stage 4. And that was in November. And then I was operated on. There was bombings in London on the 7th of July.
Yes.
And I was operated on the same day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
I was the only person operated on in Charing Cross Hospital on that day. When the operation happened. But yeah, it was about 27, 28, I think, yeah. 2005. So yeah.
Amazing. Thanks so much for sharing all of the story. My God, that's amazing. I'm sure people are gonna watch it in the future. They're gonna kind of see how amazing you came out of that and how.
I think it's important. If you're gonna support people and help people, there's a thing called ego. Yeah, I mean, ego can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. It can be. It can basically say, yeah, I'm gonna get there. No, you're not. I'm gonna get there. Or it can play a bad. And make you be in denial about it. And it's important to, if you're going to support people, on my website, I've got a cancer awareness website called Bustin' Your Balls, BUSTIN, Your Balls, which is a free website to go to reference on testicle cancer, which I set up in 2007, 2008. And then I have my coaching website, and both are the complete transparent story. So it's very, very raw. Like everything's in it. There's no skeletons. Everything's in it, because if you're going to help people and support people, and maybe expect them to do the same thing, it's important to be transparent yourself.
Absolutely.
Otherwise,
What's the point? Yeah.
Exactly. You're kind of like, what about you? Well, no, I mean, I'm going to go shopping. So anyway, back to you. You've got to, make people feel relaxed. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great. I'm glad this question came up to you so you could share all the story. I'm glad.
Oh, straightforward answer that one.
You see? That's it? Right, fine. Let's go for another one, Tom. Let's do it.
Shoot.
All right, let's get another question for you. Next question is, what's the best first date have you ever been on?
I was with the lady I'm with now, and she's going to be with me for the rest of my life. And we're really together, we're deep together. She's an amazing person. We met on online, but we started talking via on WhatsApp. You can do voice notes. You can record voice notes, and I think that's a really good way of communicating, rather than just by text, because then you understand people's empathy, people's emotions, people's
it's easier as well. I find easier.
I find a lot of people don't use it as much as what a lot of people think you do voice notes because you're lazy, and I mean,
no, it's not about that.
I think you can get empathy, of course, you can get feelings, you can get emotion, and plus you can just put it there and just let your mind just wander. Because she was going through a hard time, I was going through a bit of an ups and downs in my time. We just connected, and we're both real good kindred spirits. We both support each other. We both support people. We support the homeless. We support charities. We support a lot of less people, not so fortunate as us. And I think it's important that we're both really similar, but we both have different things. She works for Public Health England and National Health Service, so she's in charge of contact tracing for coronavirus at the moment. So she's working like 20 hours a day to try and help people like yourself, like everyone else that's probably tuning into this around the world. So she's I can't sing her praises. I think she's amazing. And I can see a lot of hearts going out of your head. At the same time you're talking about her, a lot of hearts going out of your head. She's awesome. I mean, she loves me, I love her. We're both really good for each other. So yeah, that's
good.
Yeah.
Very good. Another question, Tom. Let's do it. Feel free to show your moves. Feel free. Right. Before the,
You
before
don't want
the
to
next-
see my dance moves, trust me. We
Before
were
the
16 on our first date, we weren't dancing.
Before the next question, tell me in your opinion, what's the best part of living in London?
Living in London, just the diversity, I think. It's everyone's, wherever you are, whatever you do. I mean, obviously there's parts of London that are different.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of diversity, a lot of, not going to touch on politicalness, but it's very equal opportunities. There's a lot of dog eat dog, but there's a lot of, you can be what you want. A guy can like a guy, a girl can like a girl.
Yes,
It's the diversity. There's all these different sexualities, religions. Everyone comes together and coexists together in one city. It's so diverse and accepted, and I think there's a lot of cities and countries around the world which are very well, they're not like that. They're very different, and I think a lot of people in London it's almost like an education system to basically say to people, if they want to come here, they're accepted here, as long as they look after themselves, they look after the system, they don't take advantage of the system, they work, whatever, and then that's I always say, just be nice, just be nice to people, and I think London's like that. There's a lot of diversity in London, and it's I think we're very fortunate as a country to be in a society where you can be anything you want to be. I mean, one of my favorite parts of London is Camden.
Yeah,
London,
I love that.
I think it's just you can walk down the street, and it's awesome. I mean, I love it when you see two girls or two guys walking down the street holding hands, or a guy and a girl holding hands, and you just think you're in a society where that's accepted.
Absolutely.
Which is quite, not. Then you think how free it is, but sometimes people assume stuff, and it's just nice to be in a society where that's accepted, and I feel really fortunate to be part of it.
Good.
So,
I feel the same as well. Right.
Yeah.
Next question is, what's your favorite TV show?
oh my God. I'm a oh God, is it a guilty pleasure?
Could be. There's a question actually regarding that as well.
Oh my God. There's quite a few. I don't really, I mean, I watch TV sometimes, but not as much as I used to, because I'm doing so much sport and activity in that. But I like films, but I love Britain's Got Talent. I love it. I think I love it. It's just so, I used to watch, TV shows like The X Factor, and when it first started, and what's called Pop Stars, and, the kind of, where come on stage. But the thing is about X Factor, everyone sings, so that they're going to be a singer. But Britain's Got Talent, you have no idea what they're going to do, and I like it. It's my guilty pleasure. But we're watching a program called Undateables last night, about people with disabilities, or going on dates, and it was just, or mental health problems or anything like that. They were going on dates, and it's on Channel 4, and I think I love Channel 4 because it's probably the most diverse channel.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Really good, interesting topics, and they don't hold back. They just let it go. But there's quite a few I like. I quite like documentaries. David Attenborough. I like all the, but I like sports as well. I like watching, I love watching the Olympics and stuff like that. So
I love it. I think watch sports as well. I think it's a therapy. I love when the Olympics is on. I like when the World Cup is on. All those like worldwide events. I just love that. I can spend like days and days just watching those. If I could.
When the Olympics were in London, because my girlfriend lives in Stratford, and I didn't know her at the time because it was in 2012 and we only met in 2016. But when the Olympics finished, I was on a massive come down. I just felt so low. It was felt like somebody just taking your dessert away from you when you were a child. Like
the whole atmosphere in London was the perfect, wasn't it? The whole atmosphere of London. My God, it was so fortunate to be here. Yeah, that's for sure. Right, so let's get another question for you. Let's do it. Right, I like your magic box.
DJ, DJ Banana.
Right. Next question is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they start a relationship?
Yeah, because relationship is like, for me, it's not to overcomplicate. Relationship is like, if I work with you, we have a relationship. If I work with someone in a relationship, it's kind of like, I have a big thing with assumption. You know, normally if you have a relationship like like dating, you won't. Most people now, when they date, I found this when I started to date back in 2016 and 15. Is that people don't want to meet unless they know it's going to happen, or because the people are so impatient. A lot of people are impatient now, but I think it's assumption. You know, like you assume that people do stuff, or you assume that they're going to be like this. It's like, you know, if you say you go out with a person who's a banker, a lot of bankers, a lot of people that work in certain professions. Not calling out anyone, but if you work in a certain profession, you're going to see, oh my God, those people they're just all about this, and then that profession's all about this. And then if you date someone you want to meet someone who's in that profession, and then immediately you go, so you're interested in just money, or then you assume, you understand? Right. So I think it's just to be an open book. It's not to judge someone just because they're doing what they're doing. They could do it with a different passion from what other people have done before. So I think it's sometimes start a fresh page and sometimes leave your past behind, but it's hard to do that in life, you know? So when I started dating back in, I took a massive break from my life quite a few times because I let people in, and then I tell people stuff, but then sometimes it gets manipulated, and you get, in what better word, you get shat on. You get shat on, and it's not a nice feeling. So sometimes you get quite closed, and you don't let people in, you know. So, but I think people need to be just more open, and put the ego out, because. But a lot of people, when they are in certain jobs, in certain professions, I used to work in an American restaurant called TGI Fridays. This was way back in the 90s, and we used to have something called the cloak. So say if you're a doctor or a nurse or a banker or an estate agent, when you leave the office, you take your jacket and you leave it at the door, and then as soon as you come out, you're not an estate agent, you know. You can still network and do sales, but then you don't leave the whole hard sell. You understand? So if you work in banking and you go, no, I want to pay this, I'm going to pay this, I'm going to pay that. When you go into a relationship, you don't do the same thing. You take your jacket and you leave it at the door. You understand that?
Yeah.
As soon as you leave it, you're a different person. As soon as you step on stage, like in the estate agent, you're like, I'm an estate agent. But as soon as you come out, you're not, you know?
Okay. Understand. Yeah. Right. Let's get another question for you. Right. Let's get another question. Do you know anyone who is living their life to the fullest?
I know loads of people that are living their life to the fullest. A lot of people in the treatment that I went through, the cancer treatment, I know there's a couple of people that I know in the cancer community, and in the running community, because I do long distance running, but yeah, they're terminal, and obviously that means people that don't know what terminal is that you get diagnosed with an illness and it's not treatable, it's not possible, but then you get given a time, you get given a point of time in your life. You get given basically this is when you're going to live up to, and a lot of the time they're really wrong. The medical are wrong, and they push through it, but they live their life like a bucket list, and they give back to the community and they give back to people. And I think people, when you get given a second shot, you kind of think, I'm on this world for a reason, I'm here for a reason. I mean, I know I am living life as best I can, and I know other people that are doing it too, and I think sometimes you need to realize that when you wake up in the morning, especially whenever this is put online, when you wake up on a Monday or whatever day it is, if you wake up on a Monday and go, God, I got back to work, you've got to look at your life and think, why am I thinking like this? You know, if you don't like your job, then there's plenty of other choices to do. You just need to work hard for a very short period of time or long period of time, and it will benefit the rest of your life. Pull the finger out. But then if you wake up in the morning, and this is really the most raw I can say it without being all kind of like, oh my God, you know, you put your hand here, you feel that, you feel the heartbeat, that's your heartbeat. You're on this world for a reason. Stop being just get on with it. Just, it's good to have emotion, but I think it's important to realize that, you know, you're here for a reason. Just be good, just be nice. Don't shit on people. Don't be bad with people. Be helpful, be nice. Obviously, if people are bad to you, then it's slightly different. But I think there's a lot of people in my life. I can name a couple, but I wouldn't not want to name others, you know? So, but a lot of people that have been terminally diagnosed are giving back, helping people, raising like hundreds of thousands of pounds to help people. And I think, yeah.
Great, very good.
But it's just being real and not being in denial about your situation too, you know? So
I think what I believe is, as you say about waking up in the morning, and I think everything's in your head. I mean, of course, not all the time, but most of the time it's a habit. You know, if you start to get a habit of being positive, of being, you know, think that things gonna be right and you're gonna go through whatever. I think it's all in your mind. The way you set your mind, the way it's gonna get the habit of thinking positivity and going around. But if you start, as you said, if you start going like, okay, it's Monday, or I need to do this, I need to do that, it's going to be even worse because you're already setting your mind this way. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be even worse than it meant to be. So yeah, I think it's habit. Everything in your mind is about being educate your mind as well, being like as a set up in your mind in a positive way.
Yeah, and I work with people to do with wellness and psychology and visualization too. And I always say, just be real about your situation. If you're having a day, don't say, yeah, I'm going to be okay. Just, you can have a day.
Accept it. Yeah, accept it.
Have a day. Yeah. Not everyone, you watch these people like Mike Tyson, or these people like Conor McGregor, or these people that are immortal like The Rock, or all these people that are like, you know, come across like that. But normally, you know, if you're having a bad day, just admit you're having a bad day. But I always say to people, see this? You see this? Write on this. You know, get a diary. One of my biggest tips ever is get a diary of A4 paper for every day of the year, and just write on it every day. It doesn't matter whether you put one word, like a swear word, like fuck, shit, whatever it is. Just get everything out of that and put it on, but don't think about it, just get it out. And then you'll be more kind of, it won't be like a switch where you'll flick and just go, oh my God, I feel so much better. It may take time, but in you're just getting it all out here. You're not going to drink, you're not going to drugs, you're not going to anything. You know, you're expressing yourself, and no one will see this piece of paper but you. You know?
I tell you something, it's very powerful. You want to say, I totally believe as well. I totally believe. When you put it down, when you write down, it's powerful. Just releasing everything there. Right. Let's get another question for you. Let's do it, Tom. Right. Next question for you.
Shoot.
What's the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
Ever done for me? God. I think there's a number of things. I think probably the biggest thing that my close family is, I've got my mum and dad, and they're lovely. They're still together, and they've got a really good relationship. And it's really important to have a good role model as a relationship to look up to and feel that that's achievable. And my sister, and that's the family. And there's me. She was, when I was diagnosed with cancer, stage 4, back in 2004 in November, my mother, who was a GP, well, retired GP, she was the one that originally diagnosed me. So it's quite a big story, that. And my dad, I think, rang my sister that day, and she was on a beach in Australia, I think, because she was working for a big bank in Australia, because she went backpacking there and decided to live there. And my dad rang her up and said, look, this is what's happened to Tom. He's got stage 4 cancer. We don't think he's going to make it. The doctors, you know, and she basically just dropped everything and just flew over.
Wow.
Just flew over. And to me, that was just the best thing, to have my sister there. You know, we obviously have different things going on. We have, you know, we had arguments when we were younger. We still have, you know, things going on now, but we're still tight like that. You know, it's family, isn't it? So it's, and we're really good. And she's a really lovely person. We speak every so often in the UK, and she's living here now. She's living here now because of me. Well, I don't know why she, you know, she may have gone, she could have gone back to Australia, but she worked here now. And that was just the best thing. Just the best thing. She came over to support me, and then she stayed. She's still staying, which is really nice. So it's, yeah, that was probably the best thing that a family member had done for me. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Another question.
Answer so far.
Again?
That's the shortest answer so far.
That's good. Right. Another question for you. If you could meet yourself when you were 15 years old again, which advice would you give to yourself?
Don't listen to other people so much. I think just be. It's different now because if I went back in the same time frame, like without any social media or anything like that, I think I had quite a few friends when I was younger, but then I got taken advantage of quite a lot because I was nice, I was decent. Even though I was young when I got diagnosed with encephalitis and rare illness and stuff, and I think I was just really happy to be on this planet, really happy to be alive, really happy to. And I used to work in charity shops and help people and support people, and people knew that I was nice and kind. And I think a lot of people try to manipulate that kindness and that decency, I think. But then you can be quite guarded and introverted, just to live your life, but not to listen to other people as much as what I did, but also grab opportunities and make use of them. But then I think my life was pretty good then. And I think, you know, if I hadn't done what I'd done, it wouldn't have led me to how I was today, I think. So there's people can look back on their life and it can be a good thing, but it can be like a really bad thing when they go, I wish I'd done that, wish I'd done that. But then look how fortunate you are. I mean, I've seen, you know, if you see people driving down the street in a Ferrari, right, how do you know that that guy in a Ferrari doesn't want to slam it into a wall and end his life? You know, understand? You know, you can be rich in so many ways. You can be rich in wealth, you can be rich in life and in wellness. You know, so it's not about looking at other people thinking they've got more than me. It's about, so I think a lot of things happen in my life where I'm just fortunate to be here, really. I think I wouldn't have said to myself anymore, just keep going, just never give up. Yeah, I mean, obviously the bits in my life where I really hated, I really hated with a passion, absolutely hated, but I don't know, you know, just be yourself. That's okay. It. Yeah, because I'm happy with how my life went. Yeah.
Right, so I have 2 questions left for you, okay?
Shoot.
Let's do it. Okay, next question is, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
I think the one thing that really influenced me massively when I was younger was I was a member of a youth club, and I was born, I'm 43 now, and so I was born in 77, and I was, there was, I don't know about in Brazil, but there was, you understand like youth clubs?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you've got youth clubs. So you've got scouts, which is for guys, or a lower one, which is called cubs. And then I can't remember what's below them, but then in where you have girls, which is guides and brownies. And when you have those, it's girls do their thing, guys do those things. So it's very kind of separate, you understand? But there was a group called the Woodcraft Folk, and I will promote them and so much. They're amazing. They're so diverse. Because when I went to the Scouts, it was like, okay, we're gonna get a gun and shoot a rabbit, and then if you're brownies, we're gonna sew. You know, so it's very kind of like guys do guys things, women do women's things. It may be different now. It may have changed, but when I was a member of the Woodcraft, it was very diverse. It was very kind of you know, we met people all over the world, like people from Brazil, we met people from India, we met people from Pakistan, we met people from Poland, we met people from Uruguay, we met people from Africa, you know, and we went to camp in this field in tents, and we just got to know people. And there were people that were gay, there were people that were straight, there were people that were different religions, like Muslim, Sikh, Hindi, you know, Christian, Jewish, you know, and to be introduced to that at such a young age. Yeah, if you're a sponge, you absorb a lot of things when you're younger, and it was so good to be like, oh my God, there's people from Poland, there's people from this, there's people, and they're so nice and they're so decent, and you learn more about culture. And I learned so much about culture, and I learned to respect it massively. Because I mean, obviously when you're a kid, you just get born and you go to different countries, but you kind of learn to understand the culture. But I think it was just so nice to have that at such a young age. And yeah, I think that was probably the best thing that my parents suggested. Because my mum used to be a doctor, a partner in 2 surgeries in southwest London, and one of her co-workers she was so nice. She was the most calm, beautifully lovely person that you could just talk to. It was like a cat. It was just so decent, so calm, so mellow. And she was her and her husband and her kids were in the youth club called the Woodcraft Folk, and they introduced it to me, and I went one day, and it completely changed my life. We used to help homeless people, we used to help charities, we had what's called a jumble sale where people would donate clothes and you just give the money to charities, and it really changed, really helped me in my life, you know. It was great. And I was only, I think, maybe 9 when I started going to youth clubs.
Amazing.
Yeah, especially at that age when, you know, when you're like 11, 12, 13, you know, you kind of change as a person, you know, because of hormones and things like that, and it really helped me. And quite a few years later, I did. Do you know summer camps? You know, Camp America, things like that, where you go over in America, and I did that. So I worked with kids in America for about a few summers, and I was a counsellor, and they used to wake me up at night and say, "Why did my mum and dad send me away?" And I used to kind of help them and support them. And because of what I went through in my life before, the woodcraft and the stuff at school and the bullying, it really helped me support those kids because I've been there. And I think but the woodcraft was probably the best thing I've done.
For me, when I was bullied at school, first for other reasons as well, I was playing volleyball for years and years and years. When I was 12 years old, I started playing volleyball until I was training every single day, and that's one of the things that helped me as well going through bullying or anything that's happened to me at school, the negative side. So yeah, there's always something that you can find and try to, you know, to cover those negativity when you are.
You went kind of through bullying as well, did you? Or?
Oh yes, I think every child. I think most of the child at the time. I think yes, I went, but I never kind of let it go. I never kind of put myself in that mood. I was always very. As I said, I was doing sports very early age as well, so I was so busy at the time that I didn't kind of focus on it.
You kind of like, you kind of think if people are bullying you for something, you kind of let.
Oh yeah.
Let it
I
go
was lucky. Yeah, I was lucky enough. I was very lucky as well. I was like, I was when I started playing volleyball, I was like 11, 12 years old, and I was so I loved it. I was training every single day, and it was just like my passion at the time, and I just loved it until when I finished high school, 18 years old, when I stopped it, and I'm so grateful for the time. When I look back now, I was like, my God, how amazing that period of my life was, because the bullying was happening, but I wasn't focused on it. I was just focused on the volleyball, and it was just amazing. Right, let's do the last question for you, Tom. Now, let's do it. Right, let's get the last question out on. Last question is, tell me something that you won and how did you win it? Something special.
Well, the biggest thing was obviously getting my life, being here. I guess that was the biggest thing, but I went through, I do ultra running, like long distance running.
Yeah.
So you've seen a marathon on TV. I do anything above it. Although I train people from that can't run to running. I started doing sport in about 2008, 2009, and then I started to compete in marathons in 2012. And then, long story short, I ran, you know, the country island next door. I ran from the south of Ireland to the north. So the whole length, 366 miles in length, and I did it with less than half an hour's sleep. So, and I did it to raise awareness for my cancer treatment. And there was a lot of people, so you'll relate to this. There's a lot of people, well, I think everyone will relate to this at some point in their life, because you have what's called doubters.
Right.
You understand doubters? People that doubt you, people that say to you, if you said to someone, I'm going to take this webcast and I'm going to go and I'm going to hit, and I'm going to get 1 million subscribers, people will just go, nah.
We need those people. I think they're part of the journey as well. Totally.
Yeah, well,
I'm grateful to those.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think sometimes, they'll look at you and then they'll be asking for a job from you or they watch one of your videos and then you just, but I think, a lot of people were doubting me, saying you can't run it. And I did it in 85 hours, just over 85 hours with about 30, I slept for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes doing the whole length. And that's probably my
biggest pride
that's happened, to overcome and to basically prove to people that if you go through a but if you go through a life-threatening illness, you can achieve anything you want. So anything is possible, so
yeah. That's what's written on my Instagram.
Yeah,
a lifetime adventure, anything's possible. So everything.
I mean, it's cheesy. It's cheesy, this, but
it's true.
If you spell impossible, there's actually 2 words there. If you split it, there's 2 words, impossible. And it's, if obviously there's things that you can't jump to the moon and things like that, but you can do anything you put your mind to it. You just got to believe in yourself and you'll get there. But sometimes, but here's the key thing. Sometimes it's not a bad thing to ask for help as well.
Of course not. It's all part of the journey.
If you have good friends, if you have good people that are backing you, obviously it helps. But sometimes there's people online, there's people that there's support, professional support, and there's people that if they're good friends, you say, do you want to go for a walk, or do you want to go for just have a chat, and people will be there for you if they're good to you. If they're good support structure, they'll be there for you and help you onto your next step. But I think sometimes it's really important if you're a lot of people are motivated by themselves, but don't feel unashamed. I'm a big advocate for mental health and wellness, but I think if you want to help someone, don't always try and be the fixer. You understand that? So
yes, just put yourself in the same shoes and put together. Yeah,
I mean, don't try and always say, I think you should do this. Sometimes
no.
The best tool for helping someone, supporting someone, is to listen and just let them open up and vent. Because if you try and suggest stuff, you're stopping their flow.
That's true.
Getting everything out, and then because they know what to do, they do know what to do. It's just they need to have
support, like
yeah, sometimes if this is the person here, you just need to go that way, go that way. You just need to do that.
Yeah.
Or you just need to point them in the right direction, but you know, or just listen to them, just you know, understand it. It's like do the piece of paper and a pen. You know, you write stuff down and then get it out. They know what to do. They know how they got into this situation and they know how to get out. Sometimes they just need to get so the pen and paper is replaced by someone's ear.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the best solution.
Okay, Tom, let's play now the quick thinking game, okay? I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind, okay?
Okay.
Let's start with politics.
Not equal enough at all.
Let's go with religion.
Diversity.
Love.
Passion.
Money.
Greed.
Family.
Love.
Life.
Fortunate.
Sex.
Not long enough.
Fear.
What was the one?
Fear.
Fear. Vulnerability.
Desire.
Desire is wanting something. It's kind of can't think of that.
Want something? Yeah, that's a word.
Belief.
Believe. Okay. Regrets.
Dangerous.
Success.
Life.
Wish.
It's believing again.
How about happiness?
Breathing.
Okay. And the last one now. Personal coach.
Is that one word you want me to do?
Yes.
Oh, blimey. Personal coach. Well, there's not one word for it. Live strong.
Okay, right. So let's pretend now I'm going to meet your girlfriend and I'm going to ask your girlfriend, define Tom in one negative word and one positive word only. Which one do you think she'll tell me?
Belief is a negative word.
Okay.
But also determination is the positive word as well.
Okay, perfect. Right, so now let's play now Tom and the magic box, okay? And you can ask me a question.
Has there been a pivotal moment in your life where you kind of stuff has changed? You know, you've kind of like, what made you start this? No, that's not the question, but what? You know, it's kind of like, yeah. What's been the pivotal moment in your life which has led you onto this path? I guess.
Right. I believe it's a very good answer. I've got easy answer for me because the right answer is this epidemic coronavirus happened right now. If it didn't happen this epidemic time right now since last year, I don't think I would be able to do what I'm doing right now, because I've always been a very proactive person, doing sports, gym, running, a cinema, like a very proactive life. So I was going home literally to sleep. So I didn't have time to of course I had ideas, I had projects, but nothing that I wasn't giving time to that. And when I was locked at home, like everyone else in the world was locked, that we didn't have other way to do anything. So that's where I put myself, my creativity just flowed more and more and more. And that's where this project came along. So I'm very grateful to this. Besides the negativity, the sadness happening around the world, I'm grateful as well for this epidemic time, because that's when this project started. And I'm very grateful for that. That's where the time of my life. Right, did you have a good time, Tom?
Yes, it was good. It was nice. Nice talking to you. Thank you very much for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. But just before you go, if you can share a positive quote or a positive message, something that inspires you in life.
I have many quotes in my life, but my favorite quote is, "The magic only happens outside your comfort zone." So if you do something that you're scared of, 99% of the time it doesn't actually happen if you're scared of it. So Just do something every day that's different to your norm, your routine. Routine is quite safe and quite secure, and we know what we're doing. But sometimes, if you go into a restaurant, or if you go into a supermarket, you'll try something else. Try that in other times of your life. Try something else. There's nothing bad that can come from it sometimes, a lot of the time. So just try and just dive in. You're on this world for a reason. You're on this world once. So just live it. Live your life. Make yourself happy. Make other people happy, and just be kind. That's what I was saying.
Very good. Thank you very much. Tom, was a pleasure. Thanks so much. And take care, okay? All the best. Keep in touch. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.